performance, and also is there any update on Amiri Johnson's status?
Yeah, I thought our defensive ends did a good job in the passing game. One of the main goals going into it versus USC was move Plovers off his spot. Obviously make him hold the ball and hold up in coverage. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that. In the second half, we got after him a little bit more, finally got him on the ground. I thought they executed the game plan as best we could. We lost contain about 3 to 4 times in that game, which kind of hurt us, especially on the 3rd and 17. And then with Amiri Johnson, kind of status quo day by day. Hopefully we have him back this week, but we don't know.
Oh.
AP, hopefully this game against Cal does take place on Saturday, but as far as watching them on film in the game, obviously they did not have a game last week, but do you feel that you're most likely going to see what you saw last year? And what kind of challenges do you see in specific from the Golden Bears?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, against our game, the quarterback was playing really well up to that point, got injured. We saw the backup quarterback and the game change, went to more of a running game, not so much throwing. We think if they're healthy and ready to go, we expect them to throw the ball and be able to run it. They have a very talented running back, number 34, who does an outstanding job. Offensive line is a veteran group as well. Some big receivers on the outside. No different than what we saw last week. So we expect to play. We just came off the practice field, so.
Tressa.
Hey, Coach, thanks for your time. Kind of piggybacking off of that. So are you and the team confident that there will be a game or just in general? Yeah.
Last time I Palm Pilot, I checked it. We had a game. We're good. We're rolling. We're ready to go. We don't worry about what ifs. It's on the schedule. We'll play until otherwise.
Jacob.
Hey, AP, I'm curious what the challenges are for preparing for a Cal offense whose coordinator hasn't coached for a couple of years, and the last time he did, it was in the NFL. And also, what are some of the hallmarks of what he likes to do based on your observations? Yeah, I mean, it's good. Obviously, you have to look at what he did with the Denver Broncos and in the past teams that he was with in the National Football League. The good part about it, our co-defensive coordinator, Marvin Lewis, was in the league with him around the same time. And like everybody, you keep a resume and a profile of every coordinator that you go up against. So we've been studying film of that. There's a lot of things that Cal did well offensively with their quarterback and their system they had last year. I'm sure there'll be some carryover. But more importantly, and like all coaches say, it's very cliche, is, it's all about us, execute like we had to do last week and finish games and get off the field on 3rd and 4th downs. That's the most important part about this ASU defense, is take care of ourselves.
Michael.
Yeah, Antonio, it looked like obviously the secondary was, challenge against SC, but very comfortable. The interception by Merlin, but even more so that strip by Chase punching in the ball. I know you've talked about in the last few years how he's been more physical. Did that just kind of come to a culmination, not just on that play, but even in that first game against USC for Chase?
Yeah, I think overall our DBs, for the amount of snaps that we played, 95, 55 plus pass plays, going against these receivers that were highly talented. I thought they were very physical. I thought we executed the game plan, what we wanted them to do, and dictate to where they were going to throw the ball at times in the game. Chase Lucas played, to me, one of the best games since I've been here with him, with his composure, the way he competed, the way he bounced back, the way he was on the sideline. To me, he took a tremendous step to a senior year that we expected to be very bright for him and us. But I think that punch is what you've seen us working on, and well, you haven't seen it because you haven't been at practice. But that's something that we work on every Wednesday. Just did it again today. It's just creating turnovers. And if you look at our last game of last season against Florida State, we had a bunch of turnovers, and we started again this year hot against SC, and that's the goal. 3 or more for this team, and Chase was a part of it.
Jeff.
When you think about things that you'd like to see improve, sort of critiquing your defense, what would be at the top of that list going into a Cal game?
3rd downs, 3rd and longs, 4th and longs, situations where you expect to get off the field, to give your offense either a short field or a ball back. That was the most critical part in that game to us. 3rd and 17, those 4th downs in the 4th quarter was critical. Tackling, but we knew going in the game, like every team that you watch in college football and NFL and any level of football, tackling's been poor. But I think for the most part, those guys are flying around. We had 11 hats at times on the ball. You have to keep rallying. You like to see the run defense. That kind of shocks us a little bit that they were able to run the ball at times during the game. So we can fix those things going forward. We feel confident as we move on.
Tressa.
Coach, just curious, I remember you've mentioned, that it's next man up mentality and that if you want a ball, you better play that way. Was there any sense of a hangover or a lag at practice at all coming off of the loss?
I mean, I don't think anybody's ever happy. I mean, you try to get your swag up and the music playing and dancing, but, it's just human nature. It's like having a bad day at work, Today was good. Today, guys are focused. One thing I would say is, with anything, with going into the game, the hype, obviously, the national exposure, the way the game played out, the lead that we had, there was some disappointment. But you got to have that move-on mentality. And that goes for a play, that goes for a game. Cal's not going to feel sorry for us. We kicked the ball off here on Saturday. And today, we didn't feel sorry for ourselves. We went out there and worked and had a good practice.
Doug.
AP, a recruiting question. Rashaad White was kind of a late addition to the recruiting class. Can you just go through the factors that allowed you guys to get involved with him and ultimately bring him here?
Well, he's a sack dog, and I'm a sack dog, meaning we both played at Mount Sac. I've known about Rashaad. Obviously, our intention was to bring in Nagata and Diamante, which we did. We didn't have some guys who didn't exit our program, either through the portal or other ways. And at that time, it was weird because we played UCLA, and Rashaad was committed there at the time, and I knew it, and I'm good friends with Deshaun Foster. And I was kind of alerted at that time that he was not going to attend UCLA. They wasn't going to take his commitment. They were going to go in a different direction. And I kind of just waited. And then when our staff came to me about the opportunity to recruit another running back, I brought Rashaad up, brought him up again. And by the third time, I think they realized this kid was pretty good and talented. And, us be having the same path, me being a JUCO guy, playing at that junior college, having success. I told him he'd be given the opportunity to compete just like he was, and he took advantage of it.
Zach.
Hey, Coach, I don't need to tell you that that Evan Fields had a pretty strong performance the other day. How has his progression been over the past few years that you've been in Tempe?
Man, look, I'm glad that we finally got him back in, half field safety, quarter safety. What you see is a missile. And I don't know how it looked on the TV copies, but when we were out there, I mean, there were some loud collisions with number 4 involved. He was flying around. I don't think I've ever been a part of a game where a defensive back had that many tackles and physical tackles and played. I think he played 90 snaps, if I'm correct or so. But I think the progression has been really well because when we first got here, he was a kid who just had started playing, obviously in year 1 with us. We're playing at Tillman. Danny's defense is 3-3-5, so he was involved in the run game, half field, kind of all over the place. Now he knows his role. It's detailed for him each and every week. His eyes are clean. He played fast. He anticipated what was going on. I think he's become a better student of the game. You can look at his notepad throughout the week, and it's full. He's now taking that next step, and hopefully it continues because the way he played, along with, I feel, how the backers played strongly, you put that together, I mean, you got a mix because not too many guys come out the secondary flying and hitting like he does.
A few more questions. Oh,
I know it's one thing to talk on the entire offseason about Merlin coming in better physical shape, a better mindset, but it's another thing really performing. Do you think what we saw from Merlin last Saturday should really be taken for granted because he's playing like the veteran and talented player that he is? Or do you just really feel just a brand new player even from 2 years ago?
And I can say that's one positive about 2020 with all the COVID going on is that Merlin's been steady, been consistent since really December 31st against Florida State. It started then. He's continued. He's had a lot going on in the offseason. I don't know if you saw, but on the sideline, we were extremely excited and fired up every time he made a play because it came to fruition. It's not about the talk. Like Coach says, words and action. We put it on the field. Merlin put it on the field. He played his tail off. That's a game, obviously, that's very personal for him. But more importantly, that was a game that he needed for his confidence to prove, not to everybody else, but to himself, that the work that he did on and off the field, he can show it to everybody. And I'm hoping and praying that he has a healthy season and keeps continuing going. And obviously, with the loss of his father, I know his goal is to play in the National Football League, and I know it's far-fetched. And I'm praying that happens for him. I'm hoping it's this year, and he helps us win more games and plays like he's playing because when he plays that well, he brings a certain energy and passion and mentality to our team. Merlin and Butler are kind of the enforcers of our group. Butler's a physical presence, but Merlin, he makes those game-changing moments, and you saw it on Saturday.
Alex.
Hey, Coach, is there sort of an extra challenge dealing with a team that has tape on you guys from last week, but you don't have any from this season?
No, each week is different. I mean, game plans change, personnel change each and every week. They got to go into it not knowing what we're going to do. I mean, I think we have a good group of guys that we can interchange and play in different positions. So I think that'd be intriguing to see as well. But I think that you go into every game and you come up with a game plan, you have to adjust. Game of football is about adjusting. We'll have a first quarter plan, and it will change as the game goes on.
Last question, Michelle.
Hey, Coach, what's been the biggest difference for Mike Matus this year? Obviously, he didn't play a whole lot last year, and this year, what we saw in this game, he was phenomenal.
Reps. When you get reps in practice, you get better each and every day. Matus has always been I call him a blue collar kind of guy. You know, he's been a guy that's been like the next man up, a rotational guy. But this offseason, he's really taking care of his body. He's gotten bigger, stronger. I thought Coach Rodriguez did an outstanding job with him, with his technique, his fundamentals, and that was on full showcase on Saturday. And to me, he's just now showing what he has. And each and every week and each and every day, you see him get better. You see it. You really see it in practice. It's sad that you can't see it here as reporters and beat writers, but he works at it. He asks the right questions. He's smart. He's a student of the game. He makes us better. I mean, obviously, he embodies what it is like to be a Sun Devil.
All right, thank you, Coach.